Welcome to Reel 13. I'm Richard Pena, Program Director of the Film Society of Lincoln Center. Our independent feature tonight is My Life Without Me, directed by Isabelle Coixet. And to help us celebrate Reel 13's birthday, we have the pleasure of having a conversation with Debbie Harry, one of the film's stars.
Hello, Patsy.
I bathed them, and Penny ate 3 slices of banana bread, and Patsy drank some milk. Lately, she'd been kind of off it.
Thanks.
Grandma's Story's a movie, Mommy, and she says she likes it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, Joan Crawford.
Oh, Joan Crawford. That's great. Okay, let's go, guys. Patsy, come on. Let's go.
When audiences see a film that you're in, of course they see you as an actress, but people know you as the lead singer of Blondie, the person who was one of the icons of 70s rock in the United States and really the whole world. In a certain way, does that go into your consideration in preparing for the role? How much are you working almost against a type that many people perhaps imagine you are, even if you're not?
Yeah. I think that I've avoided roles that, sort of exploit that. And I wasn't really interested in that. I wanted to do dramatic parts or comedic parts that were different. Thank goodness I got to do it.
I actually thought, having had the pleasure of seeing some of your concerts years ago, that there was something very theatrical to the way that the band presented itself when I went out there on stage.
Well, our first, honestly, my first experience with, singing, or actually second experience, was with a director who's no longer with us, Tony Ingracia, and he was a method director, so he would make us do our songs in a method way, which was really excruciating because you'd have to sing them over and over again, and get in there and just get in there, really lock in. What are you singing about? And he worked us really hard, but I think it's worked. It's been very important for me. That
so it was almost like singing roles in a certain way.
Yeah, and when I see singers now, that really is something that I look for, that they're part of their material.
So how did you get involved in Isabelle Coixet's film?
I guess she knew who I was, and she said to come by, and it was the first one in the morning, and I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and full of caffeine, and just went in there and nailed it, It's my birthday. Wish me happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Aren't you gonna start the car?
I got something to tell you, Mom.
Oh, must be serious, otherwise you'd tell me while we were driving.
What appealed to you about the role?
I think that the story was just so moving, that this little girl, this young woman, was being so brave and so thoughtful and so loving. And my character was, she was a bit of a, space cadet, really. And but it was a good sort of juxtaposition, to my daughter's character.
What was working with Sarah Polley like? It must be so intense to have a role like that where really you're dealing with someone on such an intimate level like you did in this film.
Yeah. Well, Sarah is a, consummate professional. She's been working since she was a little girl, and she's a great actress. So she was very focused and not nervous and purposeful and direct, and I just admired her greatly, and it was just a really treat to work with her.
How different is it for you as a performer before you face an audience or before you face a camera?
How much different?
Yeah.
Well, the audience can throw things. just kidding. I guess it's, it's an excitement, and when you're in front of the camera and it works and it's working, it's incredible. It's a great feeling. And I guess it's the same way with an audience, although usually in a concert situation or in a play, you have a long time to, if you've made any mistakes, you can sort of pull them back in, But in front of the camera, it's a little bit more precise.
Debbie, what did you do to prepare for the role of Anne's mother?
Primarily, I sort of memorized my lines and tried to, you know, get into the mood. But I think for me, costuming and when I'm in the set, you know, when I'm in the location, it really blocks it in for me. I felt that my character was, you know, sort of a confused, sort of, I don't know, maybe selfish kind of person. I guess, you know, it seemed kind of natural to me.
Were you able to bring in anything from your own life or experiences in the creation of the character?
Well, I think that I do sort of do that automatically. But I remember one scene in particular with the children when we're sitting at the table. That really got very, very intense for me because those children, you know, they really, I felt that they knew more about what they were doing than I did. And in a way that really worked for my character because she had no idea, you know, what was going on. And, you know, she sort of was in the dark, whether she was in the dark about her daughter, whether she was in the dark about herself, you know, it was just sort of, in a way, kind of a pathetic creature.
And as somebody who's been around the New York scene and music and film for a while now, do you have a favorite New York movie?
A favorite New York movie? I guess, you know, one of Scorsese's, you know, Mean Streets, or Abel Ferrara's movies, which are very extreme but wonderful, you know, New York, dark New York. I'll think of some more.
Okay. Debbie, thanks very much for joining us here on Reel 13. And thank you very much for watching Reel 13 this week. We hope to see you next week right here at Reel 13.